That's oh Swampy. That's how you want to. That's how you want to start today off. That's how you want to introduce yourself. We did. We did. We underperformed. Yeah, well. There's always next month. Just have to play better. I feel that. That's how I think after every single tournament I do. I just gotta play better. What I take away is the moments where, like, there's some moments where you just really realize that you are like 100% locked in, like you're seeing the game perfectly, like you're reading every, like you are just like ultra instinct. And for me, it's like I go back to those moments and I try to figure, okay, like how did I enter this state of being? How can I replicate this going forward? So that's just what I try to take away from tourneys, no matter how good I do. The bar 21 nice. Cone back the bar 21 nice. Okay. Hello, Flux. I'm ready for today's podcast too. Unless I'm not. Berries and moats keep messing up. Let's have to take your word for it. Hey, Tofu. You know, I was interested about my thoughts of the tournament too, because I didn't really pay attention to it until after Alpha ended. Saturday I was busy at help desk all day, and Sunday I was commentating, so it was like I didn't even get to formulate actual thoughts until last night. Yay, the Popcast. Yay. Eventually, someone is going to make an automated help desk TOs to deal with dumb complaints. Well, I'll get into that. Sometimes complaints aren't as dumb as they seem. Most of the time they are, but not for everyone. What, Miss Popgun? What is it? Does the stream keep dropping? It could be because you're on that old computer, honey. I need to get a new computer and give you this one. I got killed in my jump out of the top of the arch. What? Well, Tofu, there are a lot of bot commands that we have for like what's a DC or what are the DC rules instead of just typing it out. Just have a bot. I consider that. So, what is Ludi? There's a bot command for that. There's already a lot of bot commands. Shut up, Silver. Sometimes I'll watch back an episode of the Popcast and I'll see there's times where my face will turn into a slideshow for a little bit, but the audio is still 100% fine, so as long as you can hear me, I guess that's fine. As you can tell, I didn't really put a whole lot of effort into actually looking good on the camera today, so I ain't tripping about that. Yeah, did you just tell them who you could who you wanted on your team, or did you just put it up to internet randos? When they DM'd me, they said we get to put in 2 people for the poll, and I was like, can I just tell you who I want in that way? And they're like, sure. So I was like, yes, I'm all for that. And I just went to the team. It was like, who wants to be in this? All right, you two go in. Yeah, Tofu was originally gonna be in. Yes, there was an option to where. Well, I don't know. Like the original DM I got, it was a novel, and to be fair, I didn't really read through all of it. But the gist that I got from it was you can only submit 4 players, make sure they're available to play. Discord weapons, make sure SAC, some players come up short of one name. Oh, no, it says if you feel more comfortable just selecting the players from your roster and foregoing the polls, that's completely fine. Yeah, I'm 100% more comfortable doing that. I couldn't care less who you guys think should be in the tournament for Destiny troops. It's my freaking team. They're representing me. Let me tell you who we want in, you know? Yes, make sure to give the info. I got the Ducky sent me the ultimatum DM. You have until this time at Friday to give us info, or you're not playing. It's like, okay, here's some info then. I guess I could check Twitter. I think the Sea Boys said theirs just came up, but it looks like they just picked who they wanted. Let's see. Evening Chickens is up. The Grillers is up. Ink Eye is up. Oh, you wait. I gotta vote for people in Ink Eye. Sea Boys is up. Oblivion is up. What is Oblivion? Oh, Oblivion only gets one player. I gotta choose between Artemis and Nigel. Should I do that right now on the podcast? Should I make the argument for Artemis or Nigel? Hmm. What if we just turn this into that kind of show? Am I gonna do it? Should I do an episode where I just reveal my SAC ballot and explain why I think this player is better than the other player on their own team? You know, Artemis really brings a lot of value to Oblivion, but I just think Nigel's better. I mean, just a better player, better person all around. I mean, I would vote for Artemis in a different poll, but Nigel's just better. That would be. I'm not voting for either one of them. Take that. Dimbo IHOP has one. All three of you are in chat. Vote Boeing. I'm cute and backlines are cute, so that's like two cuties. I don't know. Oh wait, top two highest. Thimbo gets two people in the All Star game. Let's see. I don't know. It's a tough choice. CIA's in here. Okay. Tooniverse. Tooniverse just picked their players. Triton Splatoon. Actually, I know who I want to vote for Triton Splatoon. We played them a couple of times, and there's a player that's been giving us headaches, even though we win. Well, Sound and Snowy from Solution. Symphony. How many players get in for top two? Get in for Symphony. Let's see. I already know Takora is gonna win. I like Pez. Oh wait, I can only vote for one, can't I? I can't vote for two. I can't vote for the two I want in. I like Pez. I remember Pez from the. Not that I don't like you guys in chat, but I like Pez from the old Operation Goldfish days. Twisted Time just sent their guys in. Oh, come on, Xanadu. You really. Just pick two of these players. Look, Lukeski and Leon should be in. They got seniority. Who's gonna? Leon's gonna get in, so I'll vote for Lukeski. Oh, Lukeski's currently no Sakura. Sakura is leading over both of them. Leon is losing. Leon's not. Leon needs to be an all-star. Come on. Leo, I guess. Introducing on crack. Eris, Swift, and Omega. That's it? Muna doesn't want to be in there? Or Zuck? Avalanche. Oh, where's Oofs isn't a part of this? Oofs is pretty good. Let's go with Jack. Jack's losing. Wait, is that it? Is that all the polls that are out right now? Looks like it. Evening Chickens just picked their player. Cool enough. Problem with Evening Chickens is I couldn't vote for them because I mean I've covered the Evening Chickens a lot, but I don't know the specific. Like you could tell me who's your favorite player, I'd be like, oh well, I know they got a player named Barbecue Sauce and Rant Sauce and all that stuff, but I couldn't tell you anything specifically about those individual players. So who knows? That was fun. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Popcast. Whenever you're listening to this, whether it be live or VOD, Twitch or YouTube, while you're getting hype about the new IPL Australian tournament, making memes about my experience leading the help desk on Saturday, wondering why your opponent is not responding back to you on Battlefy and their team name is Bye. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this. Unless I don't. Wow, he's done 35 episodes of the Popcast. He thinks he can just start now not caring. He thinks he can just start wearing a bathrobe on stream and get away with it. Look, if this offends you, hit me where it hurts. Go after my sponsors. Spoiler alerts, I don't have any, so I owe loyalties to no one but myself. And I just don't feel like... I took a shower and I was like, I don't feel like putting on clothes today. So there you go. How about that? News! Before we get into the topics of today, the SAC All-Star Tournament is going to be this upcoming Saturday. If you want to participate into this, too bad. It is an invitational tournament only for the top 30-ish teams in SAC right now. There's all kinds of Twitter polls and things going out right now for teams that decided that they wanted what players they wanted to put in to represent them and what teams want to create civil war within their own organization by having the community vote for what teams they want to put into the All-Star. So if you want to participate in that, SAC polls are going up right now, and I don't know if they got I don't see a Destiny Troop one yet, so not that we have a poll, but it doesn't look like everybody is out just yet. But if there are some teams out that you want to vote for, feel free to do that. And if I saw one of the TOs in chat earlier say that if you haven't given information back yet to them, make sure you do that. Be nice to your TOs. And they'll be nice back to you. Unless they're not. March the 6th, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, is the next Little Squid League. And it is my belief that is not an invitational. I believe that the 10th one was just like an invitational special. I think it's now back to a open tournament for all to participate in and enjoy as long as you're at the LSL skill level. It's been a long time, I think, since we had a LSL tournament on a Saturday and not be pushed aside to a Sunday. But there is still a tournament on that Sunday. In fact, the Minnow Cup, which is on March the 7th, is going to be on a Sunday. That is the Rainmaker edition is going to be the last of the 4 modes for that season, I guess. I don't know how they classify these things, but Rainmaker is next. And I like this. I like this a lot. I like the fact that the Minnow Cup doesn't have a monopoly on Saturdays, and that LSL has to be forced on Sundays. This time they're switching up. LSL gets Saturday this time, and Minnow Cup gets Sunday. We can all get along. We can all make it work out. We can run these things at the same time. Lower level's so wholesome. In theory. I got a question for the general audience. I haven't seen anything recently about a launch point draft. I feel like it's been a while since we had one of those. I know the last one happened lasted like 8 or so hours, so maybe just completely burned them out from ever doing a launch point tournament again. Checkpoint hasn't had a tournament in a while either, so I know a good chunk of my audience is from Launch Point and Checkpoint, so if there's anything going on with that, somebody feel free to ping me or something. I love covering those tournaments. I just know it's been a while since one of those organizations had a tournament like that. Like such as. Today, I'm going to be recapping Low Ink. If this is a surprise to you, welcome to the first episode you've ever seen of the Popcast. We do these kinds of things. We're going to talk about Swiss, Gamma, Beta, Alpha, yada, 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 all that good stuff. But first, The first time Destiny Troops, or I guess we were known as Sploot Troops back then, the first time we played Splat Force, January 19th, 2019, over 2 years ago. This was in the Splatoon Amateur Circuit inaugural tourney. So the first ever SAC tournament, Season 0 in 2019 of January. We played Splat Force in round 3. First time ever meeting them. Had no idea who these guys were, anything like that. Barely knew anything about competitive in general. Game 1, Rainmaker Anchovy Games. They won 69-33. Game 2 was Kelp Dome Tower Control. Oh my lord. We won 88-30. And then the rubber match went to them, unfortunately. They win this matchup. Clam Blitz at Humpback Pump Track. We lost 66-70. So there you go. Keeping track of these things in your personal little team notebook is always kind of helpful. Because when a team like Splat Force disbands, a team that has been around for such a long time, you kind of want to look back on those things and try to remember some of the good times. Since our first meeting with them, we scrimmed them a whopping 26 times over the last couple of years. When you think about the early history of Sploot Troops or Destiny Troops, you have to include a chapter about Splat Force. They were a big part of, I wouldn't say they were our first rivalry that we had, but they were one of the teams that we kind of looked to back in the beginning stages of, like, whenever we played them, we got more excited about playing them in a tournament. Whenever they asked for a scrim, it was like, oh yeah, would love to get a piece of those guys. And it was always friendly. It was always competitive, nice competitive atmosphere that you like to have against any team. And it was always a joy playing against them. I remember the Div 6 days back in Season 8, I believe it was, back when it was us, the Grillers, and Splat Force all in that group with the Reborn Donkey Squids, which I believe is Micklin Heroes now. The Donkey Squids just completely stomped all of us. I think we were the only team to take a game off of them, and it was because of DC in the group stage, which was hilarious for us. And we played Splat Force that season. They beat us in Game 9. They win 4-5. I wasn't there for that. I was on vacation. I remember specifically getting back from vacation and getting internet and saw that we lost 4-5. I was like, no. And then it came down. That season came down to the Grillers playing Splat Force in the final week, with the winner moving on to playoffs and the loser being sent home. And that set, I remember clearly, was very entertaining, very competitive. Went down to a Game 9 that I believe was on Moray Towers. I can't remember the mode specifically, but Splat Force ended up winning that one. In fact, we weren't the only team that had a lot of history with Splat Force. Obviously, the West Broadway Grillers, tons of great matchups with them. I'd be interested in seeing what their overall record between those two teams was. Symphony, for many reasons, was a great rivalry between to watch, and was something really cool to see between those two teams in the most recent time they met up in Low Wing twice. And those sets are still up on YouTube, I believe, for people to watch. And they've been around for so long. According to their Twitter, their start date was September 15th of 2018, which is 2 months older than Destiny Troops. And when you've been around that long, people know who you are. Like you build like a sort of following, for better or worse, whether you like them or not. You knew who Splat Force was. And I remember people being excited when they beat them. I remember one team specifically beating them and putting it and like highlighting their Twitch stream and being like, this means something to us that we beat Splat Force. The reason it means something to beat a team like Splat Force is because you knew who they were. And you knew what they meant to the lower level community, all the things that they've accomplished, all the connections that they made, all the friendships that they've kind of made over the season. So if somebody's excited to beat you, that's more of a respect to who you are as a player. And I'll say this: a few weeks ago, I did a rant defending lower level teams who didn't sign up in other tournaments because high level players were like, you shouldn't be playing in these lower level tournaments. You should be playing in open tournaments. When high level teams were saying that, they were not talking about Splatforce. I promise you, because Splatforce played in everything. LSL, Low Inc, SAC, Midway, open tournaments, majors. They didn't hide from anything. And when people are saying, well, these low level teams are scared to play in open tournaments, Splatforce wasn't. They weren't scared at all. They took their L's like champions, and they went in there with the mindset of, we know we're going to lose, but we're going to play to get better. And that is, I think they deserve some credit for that. Honestly do. I was shocked like everyone else when I saw that they were disbanding. It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be weird not seeing the tag on Avril and Todd and Price's IGN, or, well, I guess Price had more of the frowny face. I don't think Price had the tag, but still, it's I don't know. That's we cover a lot of teams disbanding. I've talked about Eurobeats when they disbanded, Bread Gang, obviously notable teams, but when a team like Splatforce disbands, it I don't know, that hits different. So GG's Splatforce, you tactical I can't say that other word on the podcast, but as one of my favorite quotes of all time, if people catch that reference and don't. If you know what that reference is, don't put it in chat, please. GG Splatforce. We salute you here at Destiny Troops. Also, if you're looking for some really good players, apparently they're all free agents right now. So I don't need a charger, so I'm not going to pick up Avril. I can anchor my own team. Let's talk about Low Inc, the tournament. And before we get into the actual tournament, let's talk about the help desk. Because for some reason, I was put on help desk duty for this month, and my goodness, I gotta say, if there is a God, he did some of you wrong, bro. Like some of you seriously need some help with figuring out some things, which is fine. Now look, here's the thing about Low Inc that I want people to kind of understand. For most people, when they play in Low Inc, it's their first tournament. So some patience is required. You know, the vast majority of the questions that you kind of get when you're running help desk for Low Inc are things that are understandable. Like our opponent isn't responding back to us. What do we do? A DC happened. What are the DC rules? My team has to drop. You get a lot of teams that have to drop because there's 100+ teams. It's understandable that teams are going to drop and there's not really enough subs to kind of fill in for things. And you got a lot of teams that are like, hey, I need help finding a sub or figuring that out. That stuff's understandable. Totally get that. And it's frustrating because like somebody will ask a question that you've already answered. I think most of you saw the vast majority of my responses was like, hey, the guy above you literally just asked the same question. Just look up at that, which is fun. You know, it wasn't that bad. For some reason, there were some people that were like showing love to me in the general chat and making memes about me. I think Swift just posted it in chat, honestly, about me being like the army shield blocking a Low Inc sleeping baby or something like that. I didn't get why. There wasn't anything really bad that happened in help desk. I mean, yeah, there was some annoying stuff, Nothing really bad happened. I think it came down. I was like basically scolding some guy for being Div 2 and using the excuse of I hadn't played the game in X amount of months, and I was like, who cares? You could stop playing the game for a decade. You still got that Div 2 next to your name. You still need an exemption. You can't play until you ask for it. And then I think after that, this one team, they pretty much asked after every single round, when's the next round? The next round will be up when it's up. Like, do you think we're just sitting in staff VC playing tiddlywinks and being like, oh, should we start the next round? Nah, let's just wait like 10 or so minutes. Like, no, we want to get the tournament over with more than you do, believe it or not. So I think just a lot of people asked at the same time, like, what's the delay? What's the holdup? And it was just like, but I mean, that's not bad. I mean, as a player, like if I'm in SAC and there's a bit of a delay and it's like no explanation, I wouldn't go to help desk, but I would be in Team VC like, man, this sucks. I hope whatever the issue is gets picked up. So it's like understandable people would be frustrated. It's not a big deal if somebody just kind of gripes about it. It's the one thing I do want to talk about though is lag complaints. And it really wasn't this bad. It really wasn't that bad this month, but I want to kind of explain something because TOs across the entire community are starting to move away from dealing with lag complaints. The issue with that is sometimes like lag complaints need to be like egregious for any kind of action to be taken. I like one time for me specifically, I was at a Clam Blitz at Walleye Warehouse, and I was using Hydra, and I was just like underneath our goal. There's this brush with a power clam running straight at me, straight up the ramp, and I'm just firing at it because it's like, okay, he's just bull rushing me, whatever. And turns out he was never there to begin with. It was just lag. He was actually in the alley the whole time. So as he's running up the ramp, he teleports to the alley, runs right behind me, and scores. And it's like, whoa, that's like. That if I saw something like that in the help desk, I'd be like, hey, JPEG Hohen, look at this. There might be something here. But every single lag complaint that was sent in the help desk for this low ink was just latency things. And it sucks. One player died and they were like just slightly behind the wall. And it's like, we're not going to do any action off of that. Are you kidding me? We're not going to slow down this 100-team tournament because you died slightly behind a wall. That's ridiculous. It's one team was like they posted they thought lag gave them. They thought the other team got lead because of lag on the tower. Like they thought somebody died on the tower and then the lag gave them lead anyways. That wasn't the case. If you look at the clip, it's like a player jumped onto the tower and you just didn't see that player jump on and you killed them instantly, but the momentum of them jumping on tower gave them the lead. And that's what's frustrating as like a player, because like that team is like, man, they got lead because of lag, and they went through that mindset of instead of being like, oh, here's some plays we did wrong that we could correct going forward and to make us a better team. But no, instead it's like, well, we just lost that game because of lag, which there wasn't at all. So that's where I kind of get hung up on the lag thing. If anybody's been in a VC with me, my team can tell you this. Silver can tell you this. I don't care if you shoot a guy 5 times and he doesn't die. Sweetheart, have you never played Splatoon 2 before? That happens all the time. Latency sucks. I get it. But like to just sit there and complain about it like you've never seen that before? Like, come on, bro. The real world sucks. I don't know what to tell you. It's TOing is interesting. I went to G7 last year. And I spent a lot of time just kind of wandering around. It was my first LAN, so I spent a lot of time wandering around, just kind of soaking up the event. I went over to the Smash Brothers side of things a lot, just to kind of like, just look and see how things were going. Because the Smash Brothers thing was like the vast majority of the event. And I remember seeing Smash TOs just constantly like yelling at other people and just like borderline prickish to the people that they're supposed to be organizing into these tournaments, and just like, if you're in my group, you get here right now. We're starting right now, and things like that. And it's like, bruh, why are you such a prick? And then I became a TO with low ink, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, I totally get it now. Because if you just let people walk all over you, it's over. So I think like being a good TO running the help desk, my mindset is I'm not going to lose control of this help desk. Like, this isn't going to be a meme. This isn't going to be something where people just spam nonsense over it. We're going to get conversations out of here. We're going to get stupid questions moved to battle. Well, not stupid questions, but we're going to get like this team was lagging, and then that other team, no, you were lagging. Like, we're not going to have arguments in help desk. Raise a match dispute, go deal with it there. And another reason I kind of point this out is apparently Squid Junction happened last night, and there's a lot of tweets I see about the issues that help desk had, which is unfortunate. I didn't look into it. I'm not one person to be like, ooh, drama. Let me go look at this other tournament's help desk and see what happened. And that sucks. But I get it, because I saw the person running help desk tweeted out that they were the only person there available, so they didn't have anybody to help them out. I might be the person mainly helping out on help desk this past weekend. That doesn't mean it's the Pop Gun show. There are literally like 10 other people in VC behind the scene that are helping out. I'm just the messenger, basically. And I'm not even the only one answering things in the help desk. You know, the help desk is like an all low ink kind of thing. So it's and a lot of it, you know, JPEG is the help desk man. Was JPEG in help desk a lot this week? No. You know why? Because he was in every single Battlefy dispute that I was telling you guys to make. So we were basically keeping those long conversations out of help desk, and you guys were talking to JPEG privately in your own Battlefy chat. So that's so we at Low Ink are kind of fortunate that we have all of these staff and all of these resources to help make things great. And other tournaments don't. So yeah, Squid Junction, I don't know what happened there with their help desk, but when I found out there was just one person doing help desk and didn't have anybody else really in VC or whatever to help them out with that kind of thing, it makes sense that the things would get a little bit out of control there, and completely understandably so. Regardless, thanks for the love. I guess I didn't really need it. There was nobody, nobody like personally attacked. Just somebody was tweeting about, man, Popgun's really getting roughed up and help. No, it wasn't. No, nobody called. Remember that one Low Ink where somebody called me out in the suggestion channel because I didn't kick out a player on a team. They thought a player was smurfing, and they sent it to me, and I was like, all right, we looked into it. We don't think this player is smurfing, play on. And they were like, Popgun didn't kick out this player. And they like called me out publicly in the suggestion channel. The reason I didn't kick that player out is because that team finished 1-5, and literally at the very bottom of the standings across both groups. You wanted me to kick out a player on the worst team in the whole tournament. It's because I didn't. You publicly called me out for it. So after that situation, people get pissy in help desk because the round is starting a little bit late. God, that's almost like that's cookies and juice for me. that's nothing. So thanks for the love, supporting your TOs, but I was fine. There were no issues there. The tourney itself. Xylo won. They were not in my top 10. That is not my fault. That's their fault for being bad at signing up on time. Why did I not even mention Xylo though? Because I put Squid Row in my top 10. I put him at number 1, even though Squid Row didn't even play. So why did I only mention Xylo as like a team that signed up late? They hadn't done anything in a long time. They played in I think it was the Clam Blitz Minnow Cup where they got second place. Tyrant Inc. beat them. And they played in the first SAC and made top cut and lost in round one. I say that because I know they got 50 points off of one tournament. But after that, we hadn't seen them. They didn't play in Low Ink in January. They didn't sign up until very late. So it was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with Xylo, but there's no sense in talking about them until I saw that they signed up literally right before I did my preview Popcast. So I was like, all right. I knew they were capable of winning it. It would be a real cop out. It'd be real easy for me to say, well, if I had known ahead of time, I would have put Xylo at number one. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have put Xylo at number one. They would be in my top 5, I feel like. But I don't feel like I would have. I feel like it would have been disrespectful to put in a team like Xylo that just disappeared from the face of the earth at my number 1 spot over other teams that actually played in Low Ink and other tournaments recently leading up to Low Ink. So I saw somebody tweet, Pop Gun's bad at picking winners. Duh. Of course I do. You still watch anyways. So that's fine. But no, I'm not going to just sit here and say I would have put Xylo at number 1. I'm not surprised that they won. I'm surprised they won in the fashion that they did, pulling the 11-0 per match thing. It barely had just a handful of hiccups throughout the entire weekend. I think they only lost like a couple of games on the Swiss stage, and I think Deco X was the only team to even take games off of them on Sunday, and just took 2 off of them, and one of them was a DC, a very unfortunate DC at the very end of game 1 of Top Cut. But yeah, Xylo, and obviously we'll talk more about them when we get to the alpha bracket stuff. But Xylo won. I mean, credit where credit is due. I feel like it's deserved. And it was good to see them come back and win this tournament in the fashion that they did. For Deco X, I feel like they answered some of my concerns. I brought up some issues that I had with them going with what we saw from them last month, is that once they got punched in the face, they didn't really respond that well. And this month, they did a much better job. They handled adversity. I felt like when they had that rematch against Blazing Storm that it was just going to be a trap game, that Blazing Storm was going to get them the same way Sea Boys got them last time. But no, Deco X stood up and dominated that losers finals in a way we have not seen a team that was supposed to win losers finals dominated before. So that was surprising and an exclamation point that Deco X put on this tournament. They just got beat by a better team in the end. Xylo was the only team that beat them the whole weekend. Xylo, like I said when I commentated, Xylo and Deco X had the same kind of strategies, the same kind of mindset. It's just Xylo's just better. I'm not saying like they can't beat Xylo next weekend or anything like that, but on Sunday, Xylo was just the better team, top to bottom. There's nothing you can really say about that other than just that. I mean, that's not anybody's fault. That's just how competitive works, baby. The other teams in my top 10, honestly, this top 10 wasn't too bad. Obviously, my number 1 team didn't even sign up. 4 teams made alpha, 3 made beta, 2 made gamma, so not too bad. The team I had at number 2 finished at number 2, so not too shabby. There's definitely been some more horrible top 10 Popcasts. And I always think about how can I improve the top 10? Not that I need to predict the winner every single time. I've only predicted the winner once when Fluency won back in December. But I think the problem is that I spend too much time looking at alpha bracket and giving teams credit for that instead of looking into beta brackets. A lot of teams that made this alpha bracket came from gamma from the previous month. Came from teams that didn't even make it into Sunday last month. So I think I just need to open my mind a little bit more when it comes to who I put into the top 10 for what reason, and doing a better job of kind of predicting things like that. But uh, if you guys want to be in the top 10, doggone it, sign up. Sign up. You can't just wait after disappearing off the face of the earth and then suddenly just sign up late on Thursday and then be like, well, Pop Gun said we weren't going to win. No, I didn't even know you guys still existed. That's your fault, not me. All what wait, where am I here? As far as like last month, I was saying there was one team, Red Sun became the first team ever to go 5-1 and didn't make it into Alpha Bracket. That wasn't the case this month. There was only 110 teams at the start of the tournament. Several dropped as usual over the course of the tournament. And I like this number. 110, 120, I feel like is a good, healthy number. I think a lot of people would be open to the mindset of this being like a 500 team tournament. That would be cool. But as far as like determining a true champion, I feel like 110, 120 is that healthy range that I like to see. And it's a lot easier that way. Obviously, 4 groups is hard. I mean, we proved last month you could go 5-1 if there's 4 groups and still make beta bracket. So I like the fact that you can go 5-1 and basically be guaranteed to make alpha. And that's with the number of teams we have, that's obviously still a possibility. And you know, it's 2 groups of 6 rounds of Swiss is perfect. We don't like having the gerrymander. I don't like having to seed everybody and then, well, not me, I'm not the one seeding them the day of, but like putting everyone in the groups and then being like having to look and check 4 separate groups to make sure everything is cookies and juice there. And also, interestingly enough, nobody complained this low ink, or if they did a horrible job of getting attention by other people. Nobody was like the groups were unbalanced. Nobody playing too much about the maps. I mean, there's somebody who hates Albacore Hotel, but suck it up, kid. Nobody complained about really anything, honestly. The only feedback we got was somebody demanding that we not do a tournament at the same time of In the Zone. It's like, okay, well, what tournament do you want us to step our toes on? You realize there's a tournament every single Saturday and Sunday from now until Affinity. So there's what tournament do you want us to piss off? You take your pick. It's not really something Low Ink is trying to do. It's just unavoidable at this point. The community is great, and there's a lot of tournaments going on. It happens. Let's get into Swiss on Saturday. The Albacore kid may be you. We're all Albacore kids at heart. All of us anchors. Anchor mains, at least. Matches of note. Getting into the actual games of the tournament this weekend. Tooniverse 3-0 over Amnesia. This was surprising when you saw the final results from both of these teams at the end of the day. And this was a round 1 matchup, so I wonder if Amnesia was just waking up or something like that. But this was a interesting matchup. These 2 teams played in Minnow Cup last weekend or 2 weekends ago. The Splat Zone edition, and Amnesia got the better of Tooniverse 2-1 in that set. This one didn't seem as competitive, Tooniverse winning 3-0 in the rematch. Is this a new rivalry? Are we going to keep an eye out for the next Tooniverse Amnesia matchup going forward? Possibly. But we'll have more to talk about Amnesia going forward. The Dream Knights swept Infinite 3-0. I said Dream Knights in my preview was a team that I was interested in. They made beta bracket. I felt like they were trending upwards. And this is why. They just swept a team I had in the top 10, a team that did a deep run into alpha bracket in January, and just beat them straight up 3-0. So Dream Knights, I'm willing to label them as sneaky good. They're a good team that doesn't get enough recognition yet, but they're going to be transitioning from that hunter to hunted role pretty soon if they keep getting results like this. Wipeout Punks. 2-1 over Checkmate. This was a nice win against a veteran low-level team. Checkmate has won Checkpoint 1. They finished in second place in LSL back when LSL was a little bit more higher div level. The team that beat Checkmate in that tournament was Splatter Swim, for context. So Checkmate's pretty good team. So Wipeout Punks getting the win here 2-1. A newerish team that's been popping up in SAC. I believe this was their first low ink. Nice result there for Wipeout Punks. The Pepper Poppers. 2-1 over the Wiggly Phantoms. This is a good win for the new Popper team made up of several members of IPL staff and Karma, a journeyman who's been on a lot of different low-level teams. So, and obviously the Wiggly Phantoms, we talk about them every single week, usually for something good, but now I said they're going to start transitioning into that role of it's going to be, when teams beat them, it's going to be more significant. They have become a benchmark team for a lot of teams near the bottom of the low ink standing. So Pepper Poppers' first tournament show where their benchmarks lie by beating the Wiggly Phantoms 2-1. Mahi Masoon beat the Geek Squids, and my handwriting here is awful. I forget if that was 3-0 or 2-1. I believe that was a 3-0 sweep of the Geek Squids. If I'm wrong, somebody call me out on that. This is a big upset. The Mahi Masoon team said that they hoped I would talk about them 2-1, and I'm officially looking up right now. They beat them 2-1. They said in the general chat, I hope Pop Gun talks about me. And I was like, well, you got to pop off for me to actually talk about you and get attention. And I'd said that without even realizing, oh crap, they already popped off. They knocked down the Geek Squids. That is a huge upset, arguably the biggest upset of the entire tournament. So Mahi Masoon, I see you. I see you getting some key wins here. Nice win against the Geek Squids. Krill Streak, 2-1 over the Shrimp Chips. I want to say this isn't the first time these two teams have played against each other. Krill Streak has been coming back after taking a winter or a fall semester finals hiatus, and Shrimp Chips I've talked about a couple times on the Popcast because their name is difficult for me to say consistently. So a nice. I feel like those two teams have some history if I went back and actually looked it up. So I just wanted to point that out, and it seemed like a close set. This would have been a good match to put on stream. Krill Streak versus Shrimp Chips. But we put Krill Streak 1 last month, and I want to try to spread it out to where we try to get newish teams on Saturday instead of just putting the Wiggly Phantoms and Krill Streak on every single month. Or there was a time where we put the Geek Squids on like every single month, and it was like there's like 99 other teams that need to be on stream at some point. Everybody needs some love somehow. Thimbo IHOP 2-1 over Toxic Haze. Two alpha bracket teams, two teams making alpha bracket this tournament, met up in the earlier rounds of Swiss, and it was a close result. I think Thimbo IHOP needed this win more than Toxic Haze did. Toxic Haze is a new team on the rise. We're going to be talking about them later. But Thimbo IHOP is a team that had some good success early on in their career and then kind of dipped back down. So they needed this win more to get back to where they were, and or back to where we envisioned them being in the future. So Thimbo IHOP, nice win there against a rising team. Basically saying, no, you're not going to leapfrog us. You're staying below us, new guys. We're the older kid on the block. What does Thimbo even mean? And are you guys sponsored by IHOP? Is the question. Has anyone from IHOP reached out to you guys and said, that like you guys need to cease and desist using our name. They, them, himbo. Well, that just gives me more questions than answers. Maybe I'll just have you guys on the podcast at some time and you can explain that yourself. My winners from Swiss. First off, give me Amnesia. I talked about how they lost to Tooniverse in round 1, 3-0. Well, they followed that up by... That was the wake-up call they needed because they went 5-0 after that. Key wins coming against Unlighted and Squid Knights. Those are some pretty significant wins right there. Second Alpha Bracket appearance in a row. And they actually won a few matches this month in Alpha Bracket. Where they didn't last month. So they're constantly improving. They're constantly getting better here. Top cut in Minnow Cup the past couple of weekends ago as well. So, excuse me. Amnesia. You can't forget about these guys. I said they were underrated. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. They have demanded our respect. They are a good team, which is why when Tooniverse beats them, it's significant. But Amnesia... Are they a top 10 team going forward? I don't know. But they are, as the skill level of Low Ink starts to lower down, Amnesia stock keeps rising up and up and up. Keep an eye on those guys. They're really good. Synergy had a nice bounce back this tournament after going 3-3 in the Minnow Cup. A very underwhelming performance. They went 5-1 here. Key wins coming against the Dream Knights, the Thimbo, IHOP, Symphony, only lost to the Deep Fried Octolings, and they actually got revenge on the Deep Fried Octolings on Sunday. So, Synergy, a very nice bounce back tournament for them. Ink Eye went 3-3 this month. After going 2-4 several times in the past Low Ink, they finally broke through that glass barrier and got up to 3 wins. Key wins coming against the Wipeout Punks and the Pepper Poppers, as well as Riptide, and an interesting 2-1 loss to the Deep Fried Octoling. So they got some nice wins, and they got some interestingly close losses to some significant teams as well. So they seemed excited on Twitter, and I can see why. This is a nice step up for Ink Eye. Ink Strike Inklings went 4-2 this month. Key wins coming against Geek Squids that they swept 3-0. And back-to-back good tourney results. And they needed this. This is kind of like Thimbo IHOP, a team that's been having success that started to kind of fall off a little bit. Now they're getting back on track. They went 5-1 in the last Minnow Cup, 4-2 here, back into beta bracket. So Ink Strike Inklings, nice tournament for them. They should be feeling good about this, but obviously... we would like to see them not make any more steps going backward, but keep climbing forward to where they are. CIA, the Agents, going 4-2 after starting this tournament, 0-2. They got absolutely screwed with the RNG here. They played Evening Chickens and Geek Squids in the first 2 rounds. That's rough for anybody. Key wins coming against 60% Ink Pun CIA. I believe they were in Gamma Bracket and a team dropped that bumped them up to Beta. Don't confirm that. You could easily look that up. But I'm lazy. Actually, no, it's right here. I can confirm. They were number 17. So technically they would have been the number 1 seed in Beta in Gamma, but they moved up to Beta. Also, correction, Ink Strike Inklings made Gamma as well. At least qualified for Gamma. But still, 4-2 wins. That's really good for CIA. They've been in Beta before. They've earned outright spots in Beta before. They've won LSL. This is another team bouncing back to where they need to be. We've seen a lot of teams get out of their rehab phase and come out of it a little bit stronger this time around. The Twilight Anglers speaking of teams moving up, they constantly go 2-4. They went 2-4 last month. This time they went 3-3 with key wins against Insurance Agency and Ink or Swim. Ink or Swim is a team I don't talk about enough because I felt like their name was too close to Splatter Swim and I would get that mixed up. But now Splatter Swim is no more. I should be keeping more of an eye on Inks or Swim. So I feel like they're, at least initially, I feel like they're a decent team. So Twilight Anglers getting 3 wins in this tournament with a couple coming against Insurance Agency and Ink or Swim, I think is something noteworthy. Battle Chips went 5-1 with key wins against the Deep Fried Octolings Tooniverse and Tooniverse. Their first win, or their first low ink. And they popped off on Saturday. I can't remember specifically where these players were from. I know that it's like a newer-ish team of some veteran low ink players. So it seems like they'd be a pretty good team going forward. Didn't have a strong Sunday. Doesn't matter. They had a great Saturday. That's what we're talking about right now. The Deep Fried Octolings went 4-2 this month, like they did last month, with key wins coming against Red Sun, Synergy, Twisted Time. But their opponent win percentage was high enough this time around for them to make Alpha Bracket. In fact, they were the highest opponent win percentage of any team to go 4-2 at 69.4%. So I said I couldn't put the Deep Fried Octolings in the top 10 until I saw them actually make Alpha Bracket. They did. They passed that test. Now, the grind to get wins in Alpha Bracket, that's where the true test starts for the Deep Fried Octolings, but they finally broke through that glass ceiling, and we expect them to, I don't expect them to dip back down. I feel like they're going to stay in that kind of range, because they never take step backwards. Neptune's Envoy. I feel like this should be Neptune's Envy, but it's Envoy. What is an Envoy? Am I even pronouncing that correctly? But Neptune's Envoy. This Gamma team went to beta this month, going 4-2 with key wins against Squid Society, and the only team to beat Battle Chip. And the only teams to beat them were Alpha Bracket teams. So we need to keep up more of an eye on Neptune's Envoy. Envoy, says Grammar Police in chat. Envoy. Neptune's Envoy. What does Envoy mean? And why does it have an E at the beginning of it? But still, Neptune's Envoy, they played good last month. I talked about how they were I believe they were one of my winners in the Gamma bracket last month. Did good enough to make beta right here, so Neptune's Envoy, a team on the rise. Toxic Haze, the Destiny Cadets. Look at these guys. They won Gamma. Then they moved up to beta. Now they're moving up to Alpha with 5-1 result on Saturday. Key wins coming against Twisted Time, Neptune's Envoy. And only loss coming to that 1-2 Thimbo IHOP matchup that I mentioned earlier. So Toxic Haze, the Destiny Cadets, I see you guys continuing to pop off and continuing to climb. I said I felt like they would be a really good team going forward, and I feel like eventually they would be better than my team. Not yet, but they're getting close. With results like this, I feel like they're getting close, and they're improving at a dramatic rate. And they're finally recruiting. You're not just playing with 4 players. You get at least 5, maybe 6, and you can scrim almost every single day, and you don't have to hope that all 4 of your players' schedules line up, and you can mix and match and trade things out in tournaments. It's going to make them better. So Toxic Haze, they're starting to figure some things out, and the results are coming in. Anything but Among Us. This was the pickup team of the month. That was of note. It wasn't the only pickup team. I think the Gremlins were a pickup team as well. But anything besides Among Us was the best pickup team from the month. Made up of members of Owo Gang and Honeymoon. I'm pretty sure this is a pickup. It'd be really weird if those 2 teams were not just disbanded and formed a new team with a horrible name like this. They went 5-1 with key wins coming against Lag Central Pickup, the Geek Squids and DE leaders making Alpha Bracket. So I see you, Owo Honeymooner Ganger people. Nice result there. The biggest winner from Saturday, I don't think it can go to anyone other than the Splatarians, who went 5-1 with key wins against Sky Knight on stream in round 6. That was critical to them making top cuts. I lost track of where they were here. Mahi Masoon as well. Only loss coming as a 1-2 result to the team that finished in 3rd place in the entire tournament, Blazing Storm. Splatarians, this is a fantastic result from them. The question, as we always see, is this the new standard, or was this just a one-time thing? I think we'll see more of Splatarians improving over the course of this tournament. You can't just accidentally go 5-1 in almost beating the 3rd place team as well. That would have put them at 6-0 on Saturday. It would have been a real shocker there. But Splatarians, a nice Saturday. Hopefully we can see them once again in Alpha Bracket and start winning some matches there, doing some damage. But I feel like they're the biggest winner from Saturday, in my humble opinion. Let's move on to Sunday. If I can click the arrow and drag it down. So let's look at, did I get the brackets up? Yes, there's Alpha. There's Beta. And there's Gamma. Let's start with Gamma brackets. Matches of note. First off, Symphony 3-2 over a team called Let's Splash. This is significant because we know how these 1 versus 16 matchups go. It's usually the number 16 seed upsetting the number 1 seed, and Symphony held their ground here. I would be surprised if there isn't a VOD of this one going around. If I had more time, I probably would have looked into this match because the score looks interesting, and I don't know anything about Let's Splash, so it would have been a good opportunity for me to learn a little bit about Let's Splash. But just the result right there shows that they can at least hold their own with Symphony, just not beat them yet. So nice matchup there. Shiver Me Inklings 3-2 over, and I know there's no way I'm going to pronounce this name right, Sanakaji. Shiver Me Inklings won this matchup 3-2. Interesting because this was a 2 versus 15 matchup. Another interesting matchup here. Spirit Incorporated 3-2 over Broken Controller Gaming. This was in round 1. Broken Controller Gaming did not win a game this whole set. On Sunday, Spirit Incorporated won Gamma bracket. So this is a team that finished in last place in this bracket that came 1 game away from beating the team that finished in first place in this bracket. So that tells you how competitive Gamma bracket was. And that gives you a sense of what it was like to go through Gamma bracket on this day. A very, very competitive bracket right there. When the number 1 seed wins 3-2, when the number 2 seed wins 2-3 in round 1, and obviously the Broken Controller Gaming and Spirit Incorporated result right there. The winners from Gamma bracket that I want to mention here. First off is Radioactive. They swept the first team they played in round 1, which is something I cannot pronounce, so I'm not even going to try. I believe it is a German term that translates to chicken nuggets or something like that, I believe is what the staff came up with. Beat Symphony 3-2, lost to the team that won the entire tournament, Spirit Incorporated 3-2, and then went to losers bracket and said, we're just going to keep things rolling here. Beat the German team they played in round 1 2-0, beat Dark Rain 2-0, and then lost once again to Spirit Incorporated 3-1. So Radioactive, a very nice tournament result for them. Enigma popped off here. You guys know I love it when a team pops off in the losers bracket. They lost in round 1 to Dark Rain 3-1, and then started popping off, beating the Santa Kaiji team 2-1, Booyah X 2-0, Symphony 2-0. That's a surprising result. Before losing to Dark Rain once again 2-1. So Enigma went on a bit of a tear on Sunday. You love to see things like that. And obviously, I've talked about this team, or I mentioned them a little bit, but Dark Reign deserves some love here as well. Beating Enigma in round 1, like I said, swept Shiver Me Inklings, took the Geek Squids to a game 5, losing to them 2-3, and then beat Enigma once again in the losers bracket before losing to Radioactive 2-0. Dark Reign, a team I haven't heard of before. I don't know if they're a new team or not, but whoever they are, they finished in 4th place in a very competitive Gamma bracket. Definitely deserve a winner role there. Grand Finals is a rematch from the winners bracket. Geek Squids versus Spirit Incorporated. And it looked like it was a good one. Geek Squids won the winners bracket 3-0. Spirit Incorporated came back into Grand Finals here, forced a bracket reset 4-2, won the whole tournament, or won the whole Gamma bracket 4-2. So a nice result there, a nice bounce back. That's something we've traditionally seen in Low Inc as a team lose in winners finals and then come back and win the whole tournament anyways. In Gamma bracket, at least, we've seen it happen a couple of times. What does this mean for both teams going forward? For Geek Squids, the more we see of these Gamma and Beta brackets, the more we start to realize this isn't something to look down on. This isn't something like, oh, that's cute, you won Gamma bracket. Like, no, like you had to beat Geek Squids to win Gamma bracket. Like, the margin between making Gamma and Alpha is so razor thin. There are literally 4 and 2 teams that made Alpha bracket, and also 4 and 2 teams that qualified for Gamma bracket. Teams dropped that forced teams to bump up, but you could go 4 and 2 and end up anywhere on Sunday. It's just based off opponent win percentage, which is the best tiebreaker for something like this. So Geek Squid's finishing in 2nd place here. Is that what their expectations are? Well, they seem pretty content with it on Twitter. And I feel like they should be, because as we've seen, it's still a really good bracket to be in. Like, teams dropping because, like, oh, well, we were in beta last month and now we're in Gamma. It's like, no, like, did you see the teams you got to play in Gamma bracket? Is it really that bad of a bracket, really? For Spirit Incorporated, though, this is a new team of Low Inc veterans, most notable of Soul, who won beta bracket with the team called Nuts, the pickup team called Nuts, back in November, and made up of some other Launch Point folks as well. So Spirit Incorporated, I hope this is actually a new team, and we will see some more of these guys going forward. Where did they do? They were the number 5 seed, so that says they probably went 3-3 in Swiss. So if they want to climb up and avoid being back into Gamma bracket, they're going to need to go 4-2, and they're going to need to beat a team that can go off and win some more teams and help their opponent win percentage. But Spirit Incorporated, obviously, when you come in and you have to force a bracket reset and you have to beat the Geek Squids 8 times, that's impressive. You have our attention, Spirit Incorporated. Now go do something with it next tournament. Beta bracket. Beta bracket. Matches of note. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Unlighted beat Deathlights 3-2. Unlighted is a team I had in my top 10. They won the Minnow Cup, the Splat Zone's Minnow Cup, knocking out Squid Row. They what did they do? They made Alpha Bracket last month as well. So, and Deathlights is a team I feel like has made Alpha Bracket in the past. So this looks like on paper to be a good matchup, and it actually was. 3-2 result there. Actually, Deathlights dropped last month. I remember that now. So, but I feel like they've made Alpha Bracket or came close to making Alpha Bracket in the past. So these two teams might be the future of Low Inc. if they can actually play consistently. But it looks like they at least showed up on Sunday and did some damage here. Their matches of note. Tonkin 3-2 over Inky Go-Go's. Now, Tonkin won beta bracket here, so obviously I'm going to talk about them later. But the team they had to play in round one was the team that won beta bracket the month ago, Inky Go-Go's. And it was a 3-2 matchup. So there you go. That's an interesting kind of passing the torch. Like, Inky Go-Go's like, you guys beat us in game 5, so you know what? Go win this whole tournament for us. And they did. So round one matchups having interesting effects on grand finals in both Gamma and Beta here. Finally, the Gremlins 3-2 over to the Dream Knights. I believe this was a round 2 matchup of winners bracket. The Gremlins, I believe, was a pickup team. I saw some names that I recognize, but and we had them on stream at one point on Saturday. And the Dream Knights are a team I've been talking about as being sneakily good. And I believe I'll be talking about them more in this bracket going down the road. But another 3-2 matchup. A lot of interesting 3-2 matchups in beta bracket. It was very competitive top to bottom. But the pickup team beating the Dream Knights is something I wanted to point out. Winners from beta brackets. First off is Red Sun beating Abgabadon, the hashtag Abgabadon. I know there's no way I'm pronouncing that correctly. 3-0. Lost to Unlighted 3-2, and then had a little run in losers bracket here, beating Resilience 2-0. I have a feeling that was a rivalry matchup. Neptune's Envoy 2-0. The Gremlins 2-0, and before losing to Unlighted once again 2-1. Red Sun, we've been talking about, they're a contender to make top 8 based on how they do in the next SAC tournament. They didn't make alpha bracket here, which is fine because they still showed up on Sunday and had a good run against other beta bracket teams. So hopefully this is I don't care who makes top 8, but for them, they're probably look at this and say this is good momentum going forward for the important tournament that lies ahead for them. The Dream Knights swept CIA 3-0 before losing to the Gremlins, like I mentioned, and then got a couple of nice wins in losers bracket, sweeping Inky Go-Go's 2-0, Lag Central Pickup 2-0 before losing to Unlighted 2-1. So Dream Knights, sneakily good? I don't know. I think they just might be straight up good. And lastly, another winner is Unlighted. I talked about they beat Deathlights. They beat Red Sun, both 3-2 results. Lost to Tonkin 3-2, and then in losers bracket got a couple more wins, beating Dream Knights 2-1, Red Sun 2-1 before Tonkin swept them 3-0. So Unlighted, the Minnow Cup, current Minnow Cup champions. I don't know if this is the result they wanted. I definitely saw them as a team that could potentially win this tournament. Had a nice run in beta brackets. Finishing in third place there. Nothing too shabby. Grand finals. Once again, another result of a rematch of winners bracket of Twisted Time versus Tonkin. Twisted Time swept Tonkin 3-0. And then in the rematch, Swankin swept and Tonkin got mixed up together. Tonkin swept Twisted Time 4-0 to force a bracket reset, and then Twisted Time realized, oh crap, these guys can beat us, and they woke up and had a very competitive game bracket reset that went 4-3 in the favor of Tonkin. So what does this say about both teams going forward? For Twisted Time, I feel like this is a good bounce back from last month. I think I prematurely put them into the top 10. But they're another team like Red Sun buying for that last bid to get into the top 8. And a deep run right here is momentum that they can build off of. And I feel like they're just a month away. Like if this team stays together and grows over the course of a month, I feel like they're just a month away from being a legit low ink contender. They just haven't been consistent in low ink yet, like they have been in SAC. For Tonkin, for the tournaments these guys have played in, it's been nothing but success. They made beta last month. They've won beta this month. They've made top cut in Ash Cup. They made top cup in Minnow Cup. So Tonkin is consistent and is consistently improving and getting good results. So they're almost, at least from what we've seen from them so far, they're almost a lock to do something noteworthy in every tournament that they play in, which is good for them. And it's something we don't traditionally see a lot of in the low level. So Tonkin, definitely a team to look out for in the future. And if they keep going on the path that they are, we might not see them in low level tournaments for much longer, because they're eventually going to win one of these things, or multiple of these things. No Thimbo November. What? What am I missing here? Lastly, because I do have to actually put on some clothes at some point, let's go. Let's talk about Alpha Bracket. The matches of note. Aqua Affinity 3-2 over the Evening Chickens. This one was on stream, very competitive, ultimately going to Aqua Affinity's favor with Game 5. In Game 5 of that set. Evening Chickens, always nice to see them on stream. Always nice for other people to see their crazy names. And Vanilla Clash Blaster. I believe for Tower Control at Anchovy Games, they busted that one out. So Evening Chickens, always a fun team to have on stream. And a nice win there for Aqua Affinity. In the losers bracket, we had a couple of noteworthy matches. First off, Synergy beat the Deep Fried Octolings 2-1. This is significant because it's a revenge match for Synergy from Saturday. The Deep Fried Octolings beat them in Swiss, and now Synergy got revenge on them and knocking them out of the whole tournament. Potential new rivalry on the horizon? Question mark. We'll keep an eye on that matchup in the future. Amnesia 2-1 over Thimbo IHOP. I feel like these two teams have a history. These two teams have been around for a while. I feel like that's not the first time they've played each other. I'd be interested in seeing something like that. If not, this is something to look at going forward. So nice result there for Amnesia. Thank you for the raid, JCam394. And hello, everybody coming in for that. You are probably going to be out of... you're probably going to be completely confused about where I am in the middle of this Popcast episode, but thank you for coming anyways. We're about to wrap it up. We're talking about Alpha Bracket of Low Ink. In fact, I'm just about to give you the winners from the Alpha Bracket of Low Ink. And first off, we are going with the Evening Chickens. These guys went, they beat Toxic Haze 3-0 before losing to Aqua Affinity. And then, like they did last month, these guys are probably one of the best loser bracket teams we've seen in Alpha Bracket with what they've done these past 2 months. Battle Chip 2-1, Synergy 2-0 before losing to the third place team Blazing Storm 2-1. Evening Chickens. It's hard to be consistently good at the top of Low Ink. It's hard to be consistently good. The Evening Chickens are starting to show consistent goodness in these kinds of tournaments. So Evening Chickens kind of justifying being one of the top teams out here in this tournament. The Krusty Crew. Actually, I'm going to save the Krusty Crew because I got a lot of things to talk about them. But Aqua Affinity is also a winner here, beating Twice 3-1. Twice is one of the teams that I have in my top 10. So Aqua Affinity getting a nice win against them, beating Evening Chickens 3-2. Xylo knocked them down to losers bracket 3-0, and the Krusty Crew put them to sleep on Sunday 2-1 in losers bracket. Aqua Affinity, the only other tournament I found on these guys is that they played in the SAC opener, and I believe they qualified for silver bracket, but didn't actually play because that was a 2-day tournament, even though it should have been 1 day. So Aqua Affinity, nice result for them here in their first Low Ink, and we should expect good things from them going forward. The biggest winner from Gamma Bracket, or Alpha Bracket, excuse me. And in my opinion, the most shocking team result of the entire weekend, the Krusty Crew. The Krusty Crew. What happened here? First off, They swept Battle Chip 3-0 before losing to Deco X 3-1 in losers bracket and winners bracket. And then absolutely ripped people apart in losers bracket. Swept Toxic Haze, swept Amnesia, beat Aqua Affinity 2-1 before getting knocked out by the third place team 2-0 on stream. I could not believe I actually commentated a match that included the Krusty Crew on stream, taking fourth place in this entire tournament. What the hell happened here? This is so insane. This is a team that typically, they like Thimble IHOP has always been the team that kind of gate kept them from making alpha bracket. I believe it's 2 months in a row. Thimble IHOP beat them 2-1 in round 6 of Swiss and sent them to beta bracket while Thimble went on to alpha bracket. And since then, I believe their most recent result was like a gamma bracket result or something like that. So this was just a good story of like, oh, cool, these guys made their first alpha bracket. But no, they decided to just destroy it on their way out to a fourth place finish here. And I do have some quotes from 003, who I believe is the captain of Krusty Crew. So some quick information about these guys. They've been around for 1.5 years. They're an older team with ages between 19 to 30 plus. Sounds a lot like my team. Pretty good. They're really excited about the results. I asked them, I was like, is this what you guys were expected for Saturday? They said, not at all. We didn't really talk about expectations, but I think we were mainly hoping to do better on day 2 than we've done in the past. Getting beta bracket at least was a goal. We knew we would have potential to break into alpha after being 1 spot or 2 spots away in September and October. So look, they were just hoping to make beta bracket, not just 4th place in the entire freaking tournament. So Krusty Crew, hello. How's it going? That is quite the result for them. Obviously the biggest winner from the whole tournament. Also, they beat twice in Tonkin in Saturday, so it's not like they accidentally found themselves into alpha bracket. These guys straight up earned it and popped off. Here's to you guys. Water, which I'm out of. Yeah, grand finals. Then let's go raid somebody else. Also, thank you to everybody who followed during that raid storm. I can't just stop and thank each one of you individually because I'll lose track of what I'm talking about and then it'll be an absolute mess. So thank you for the follow, Bo. And I also can't, because I can't read any of your names, Bro Kurbaran. Thanks, Bo, for the follow and everybody else. Grand finals. What is there to talk about here? Xylo versus Deco X. The only bracket that didn't go to a bracket reset. A little bit scary here in game 1 because Xylo DC'd at the very last second of game 1. And Deco X was able to come back and get the win. Obviously, I thought there were some points there where I thought Xylo's still going to win this game anyways. And if they did, you can't mentally come back from a loss like that. But Deco X got the win there. They came out strong in game 2, and it looked like they were just going to spank Xylo in game 2. And then all of a sudden we got a bracket. But no, Xylo came back game 2 and then just did just enough in every other game since then to hold on to the lead and win 4-1. So obviously I talked about these two teams earlier in the podcast, which will be up on YouTube if you want to rewatch some of these things because you're missing, because you might miss a little bit if you just got rated in here. What does this mean for the two teams going forward? For Deco X, this is good. I mean, obviously, 3rd place last month, 2nd place this month. Here's the problem, though. The only teams to beat Deco X in the past 2 months are the 2 champions, Rising Matrix and Xylo, and C Boys. The C Boys, who, it's getting harder to say that as I get older. The C Boys who won the most recent SAC tournament. Those are the only teams to beat Deco X in the past 2 months. So literally, Deco X is better than 99% of the teams that have signed up for Low Ink in the past 2 months. Does Deco X really need to be in Low Ink next month? I don't think so. I'm not sitting here and like making any announcements that anybody's banned or anything like that. And I did a whole rant about how we shouldn't be putting expectations, or we shouldn't be telling other people what their goals should be. But for Deco X as a spectator, I don't want to see them in low ink anymore. I don't think anybody does. I want to see them in SAC. I want to see them in Midway. I want to see them play in other tournaments outside of low ink. They've proven they're really good. They have nothing else to prove. And honestly, I don't think there's anybody left that could beat them. Honestly, unless some other monster just got snuck in. I feel like Deco X would win the next low. If we played these same teams next month, Deco X is going to win, and it's not even going to be close. So like that's a good thing for Deco X. But I don't know. I want to see them play in other tournaments. For Xylo, they fit the kind of mold of a team that we traditionally see win low ink. I see them being a Luau. I see them being a West Broadway Grillers. I see them being a Fluency, but I don't see them disbanding like Fluency did. I feel like if there was another high ink, that Xylo fits in with just about every team that's in that high ink, except for Priority. So I feel like, just as a spectator watching Xylo win, it felt good. It was like, okay, this is a team we traditionally see kind of win. But once again, what's the question for them? They have a meme, I guess. It's a Xylo moment. I guess I don't know what that means specifically. I think it means that they just disappear for a few months and then come back from the dead. So hopefully Xylo can ride this momentum here and actually play in some more tournaments going forward. It'd be nice to see them play again, just like Deco X. It'd be nice to see them play in things like SAC and Midway, which they have played in the past, in more open tournaments as well. But yeah, Xylo. I want some more Xylo. Give the people what they want. They want more Xylo, less Xylo moments, whatever those are, and more actual Xylo results, I guess you could say. And with that, we are done talking about low ink. And we are done with this episode of the Popcast. I'm going to go put some actual clothes on and go to work. And we are going to raid somebody. I don't know who, though. Make sure you guys vote in the SAC stuff that is going out on Twitter today. Make sure you take some time to figure out who exactly it is that you want to vote for. You don't want to mess anything up here. Who is streaming? I should raid. You can always just go back to fish. That's always a safe bet. Let's go to that. If you would like to be a part of the Popcast in any way, you want to be interviewed by me during a slow week where I need time to fill, or you wanted to send me information about your team that you think I should know about. I always appreciate things like that, even if I don't always respond in the fastest of fashions, because I'm a very busy person. But I like hearing from you guys. It helps make talking about you guys easier when I have actual information about your team. If you want to send me anything, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Mr_Popgun, Discord at Popgun, #5882, YouTube at 25Popgun, Twitch at Popgun25. If you're looking for VODs for this, if you hopped in late, I guess you could just watch it on Twitch, but I save everything on YouTube directly afterwards. And if anybody, I don't know, I guess that's it. I guess we're done talking about it here. Let's go tell Fish I said hi. I usually don't stick around to say hi and leave afterwards. Hey, make sure you guys keep wearing your mask. I see you. I see you wearing your mask. And don't put it underneath your nose. You guys breathe through your nose. I know you do.